Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price this Saturday as we are testing the $49,700 resistance level, and we are still in the range of $44,800 and $49,700. So it's the weekend. We have to be a little bit more freestyle. We know the DXY is starting to move up. Are we going to be seeing this rejection at $49,700, or are we going to break this level? And if we break this level, what is the potential for Bitcoin to reach $58,300? We're going to talk about this today, and then we've made a bold prediction this week that Bitcoin dominance is in the early stages of a reversal. And notice how we are starting to see sort of this flat bottom here for Bitcoin dominance, which is yet to form any further lows since May when Bitcoin topped out the $64,000 level. And at this point, if we see Bitcoin dominance starting to rise and we see any sort of downside in the market, that means that altcoins are going to bleed more against Bitcoin. Notice how the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is at 65,900 Satoshis. If we break 65,000 Satoshis, our thesis is correct that Bitcoin dominance is going to start increasing, and this would lead other altcoins to also see some downside. So that means that we don't want to be shorting Bitcoin at any point. If we are going to be shorting, it's going to have to be altcoins. For those in Discord, you know, we took this Cardano short yesterday here at $2.52, already hitting all profit targets to $2.43. That is the way you want to play altcoin season when it is in the final stages. And so, of course, this is a bold prediction. Many analysts are against this thesis that Bitcoin dominance is going to show strength, but we are maintaining that on this channel. So I want to talk about what to expect here with Bitcoin, of course. Now, let's start on this weekly chart. Notice how we do have this weekly candle. We have sort of this bullish tail at this 20-week moving average. That's a very positive sign. We have a new weekly candle opening in 24 hours. Now, is this weekly candle going to transform by tomorrow? That's a big question that is certainly on the table. And understand that we've seen 5 weeks of straight green, and we know the DXY is pushing up. And so this is a major puzzle piece that we have to keep on the table, knowing that it's the weekend, it's the most manipulated. Are we going to see this break of 49,700 before seeing downside? Here's what I'm watching. Of course, what we need to do is go into the smaller time frames, but before we do, understand this. We have a large range above 49,700 that could take Bitcoin to 58,353 US dollars. Now, typically when there's a range this large, we will see some sort of resistance at the midpoint of this range, around this $54,000 level is what I'm watching. If Bitcoin starts to close hourly and 4-hour candles above 49,700, I do expect 54,000 to come into play. Now, I will also say that I'm going to expect a lot of resistance coming down from this $54,000 level if we start to see that price action. And so realize this, when we're looking at this 4-hour chart and we know that we're starting to test 49,700, the question is, how is Bitcoin reacting to this area? Well, so far we have this tail of the candle previous to what we have right now, bearish, testing the $49,700 level. It looks like we almost have like this flat top sort of forming here as well, with none of these candle bodies being able to get above this small range. And the only price action that took us to 49,700 immediately saw a rejection. That to me is not a good sign on the 4-hour chart. We also have higher highs forming and higher lows. This is traditionally a bearish flag that has more of a likelihood of breaking down. So on the 4-hour chart, it doesn't look the best testing 49,700, but this could change. It's the weekend. We have to be freestyle. So understand, if we start getting any hourly and 4-hour closes above 49,700, that's probably the confirmation we're going to see some volume come in, not just from the US dollar pairing for Bitcoin, but also from altcoins, because we know Bitcoin dominance is possibly in the early stages of reversing. Now, if we see some downside, I'm fine with Bitcoin going sideways between 49,700 and 44,800. However, if at any point in time we break 44,800, this would be the make it or break it for me at this point, because 44,800 breaking potentially puts the scenario for Bitcoin to test this monthly open at 41,950, and we get down there, fear comes into the market, that can bring Bitcoin to 34,708, potentially even see further lows towards the end of this year. So we are certainly in a very critical range between 44,800 and 49,700. So we truly want to monitor this range. Now, here's the other thing about this. If Bitcoin starts to come down, what is going to happen to altcoins? Well, understand that this is the first time that we're going to be seeing another downside move since Bitcoin saw the downside move from 64,000 to 28,000. That means that the sentiment in the market has probably changed with this move to the upside. And if this downside scenario comes on the table, we could expect for the first time since January, altcoins could bleed against Bitcoin instead of outperforming Bitcoin. And the reason I say that is because if we start to see the Ethereum and the Bitcoin chart break 65,000 Satoshis, that's our first confirmation that this thesis is correct. And if that occurs, the Ethereum to US dollar price is also in a very large range at 34.54 all the way down to 1980. If Bitcoin fails to break 49,700, I do not expect 34.54 to break for Ethereum. And at that point, what we want to monitor on the daily chart is going to be this 100-day moving average, which you can see here shows confluence with this 50-period moving average on the daily chart. And that's right at that monthly open. That's not a coincidence, at the $2,500 level. At this point, we want to monitor where Bitcoin is at in US dollar terms, because if Bitcoin still has room to the downside, then this could be just a support level that's created within this range to then come back down and test 1980. Now, I still have the opinion that at some point or another, those that think Ethereum is going to flip Bitcoin towards the end of this year, that could come true. We could see the thesis of Ethereum flipping Bitcoin get tested with Ethereum forming new highs without Bitcoin forming new highs. But that would all be determined on the Ethereum and Bitcoin chart, first and foremost, getting back above 65,000 Satoshis if we break 65,000 Satoshis. Now, before we move into the others dominance and Bitcoin dominance chart, I want to say, if Bitcoin breaks 49,700, then Ethereum does certainly have the chance to get above 34.54. Maybe this Bitcoin dominance thesis is a little bit premature, and maybe we see Ethereum form some new highs, maybe a new all-time high. But this would all only be happening if Bitcoin can break 49,700. So if we go into the total cryptocurrency market cap chart, we have a large range that we could play in that can move us sideways. Now, what really matters here then is the others dominance and Bitcoin dominance chart. Others dominance has been in a bullish trend since January. And so since we saw this bullish push to the upside, now we've seen a garden variety retest of a major support level that dates back to 2017. And that's right at that 12.6% dominance level where we're currently sitting is at 13.6%. So we're seeing a slight reaction at this support level, which is garden variety. That's what we expected. A lot of analysts that were a little bit more two-dimensional said that altcoin season was over when Bitcoin topped out here, and they pretty much said that it was over in May. I said, no, I don't think altcoin season isn't over because we're not two-dimensional on this channel. We look at all of the markets and we also correlate them. And I said that because others dominance was still above the 20-week moving average and it stayed closest to the 20-week moving average despite Bitcoin falling much and below the 20-week moving average, that we were still in altcoin season. But now that we're coming back up, we're seeing the garden variety reaction that we expected, telling each and every one of you guys that altcoin season was still intact. If you held your altcoins, Cardano just formed new all-time highs. You were in the green, right? If you listen to other analysts saying the altcoin season was over in May, then you weren't in the green. But now that we're coming up, I'm making another bold prediction here that this could potentially be the lower high that we're looking for the altcoins to see further downside, continue in this sort of bullish channel in the macro, but in the short term, this could push Bitcoin dominance above the 20-week moving average, sitting at 46.3% dominance, and that could show short-term relief for Bitcoin to get back to where it wants to go, which notice how this is where Bitcoin would love to be, and it loves to stick towards this 200-week moving average. Notice in this 2018 run-up for Bitcoin dominance, what did Bitcoin do? Well, it took a non-stop flight to the 200-week moving average, and it stayed there for months and months and months. It loves to have a cup of coffee at this 200-week moving average. It sort of came up when we saw the momentum into 2021, and then altcoin season started. But is it time for Bitcoin to come back to homeostasis and come back to neutral zone at this 200-week moving average, currently sitting right around that 57% dominance level? I think that's on the table. It's the bold prediction that I'm making. And with that, I appreciate each and every one of you snipers tuning into the channel. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Bitcoin dominance in the comments below. And you are all eligible to win a book, Principles by Ray Dalio, one of my favorite books on value investing. If you want to win this book, all comments are eligible. Anon Namai says, this bull run will continue with the king reasserting itself. Everyone should be rooting for Bitcoin dominance. Thank you for the kind words. Send me a message on Instagram. You want a book. And with that, I appreciate each and every one of you snipers tuned into the channel. I couldn't do this without you. And until next time, snipers